Star Trek. Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 5, a new evil threat emerges on the Enterprise. Star Trek. Strange New Worlds Season 3 has been steadily raising the stakes, but Episode 5 delivers a chilling shift in tone, one that feels less like a routine mission of the week and more like the dawning of a massive, season-defining threat. What begins as a routine survey mission quickly spirals into a confrontation with a malevolent force unlike anything the Enterprise has faced before, one that challenges Starfleet's ideals, tests the crew's loyalties, and turns the very ship they trust into a battlefield. A routine mission becomes a nightmare. The Enterprise answers a distress signal from an uncharted region at the fringes of Federation space. The signal appears to originate from a derelict scientific vessel once thought lost decades earlier. It's transponder broadcasting for the first time in 30 years. When Pike authorizes a boarding party, the away team discovers a seemingly untouched ship floating silently in deep space. No bodies, no logs, no signs of violence. Just empty corridors, dim flickering lights, and an unsettling sense of abandonment. But the truth becomes clear when Lon discovers evidence of experimental research into consciousness transfer, initiated by a rogue Starfleet scientist believed to have disappeared after violating ethics regulations. The experiments weren't abandoned, they evolved. The threat is not physical, it's mind-based. Upon returning to the Enterprise, crew members begin acting strangely. Uhura reports hearing whispers in languages she can't identify. Ortegas has gaps in her memory, and Chapel detects anomalous neural activity across multiple departments. Even Spock, normally shielded by Vulcan discipline, begins experiencing intrusive thoughts, visions of an intelligence seeking a host. The crew realizes too late. Something from that vessel followed them back. Not a creature, a disembodied intelligence. It slips into minds, manipulating emotions and rewriting memories. Rather than brute force conquest, this entity seeks assimilation through psychological dominance. Starfleet protocols offer no defense. Pike faces a moral crisis. Pike's leadership is tested when the entity attempts to negotiate, not from a physical presence, but through the voices of manipulated crew members. It claims that its species abandoned physical form to achieve immortality, but now requires hosts to survive. It does not see this as conquest, but coexistence, and presents Pike with a haunting proposition: allow voluntary hosts, or risk total psychic takeover. This transforms the conflict into a philosophical and ethical dilemma, one that mirrors classic Trek while pushing into darker territory. Spock and Chapel lead a high-stakes mental battle. The solution lies not in phasers, but in a psychic counterstrike. Spock and Chapel combine Vulcan mental discipline with bio-neuromedicine to trap the intelligence in a containment field powered by their own linked consciousness. The risk? If they fail, the entity could permanently bond with one of their minds. The mental battle sequence is one of the episode's standouts, surreal, tense, and character-driven, forcing both to confront fears they've buried since Season 2. They succeed, but only partially. The entity is expelled from the crew, yet fragments of its consciousness remain in the ship systems. A new season-wide villain is born. In the final scene, the Enterprise sails away, damaged but intact, until a security feed flickers to life, displaying distorted voices whispering through the internal network. The threat isn't gone, it's adapting. The episode ends with a chilling revelation. The entity wasn't unique. It was a scout, and more are coming. Why this episode matters. Episode 5 shifts Strange New Worlds into darker, serialized storytelling while honoring Trek's philosophical roots. The new villain is not another war-hungry empire, but a force that invades what Starfleet values most: identity, free will, and unity. If this is just the beginning, the Enterprise is heading into its most existential battle yet. Episode standouts: surreal, tense, and character-driven, forcing both to confront fears they've buried since Season 2. They succeed, but only partially. The entity is expelled from the crew, yet fragments of its consciousness remain in the ship systems. A new season-wide villain is born. In the final scene, the Enterprise sails away, damaged but intact, until a security feed flickers to life, displaying distorted voices whispering through the internal network. The threat isn't gone, it's adapting.